That's the thing we need to focus when it comes. So things are like it always explicit deny. Least privilege rule is always followed. So it's better not to touch NACL if you don't have any intention to configure any rules in the NACL level. Security groups will take care.
Yeah, makes sense. Yeah. And third things that like आपने बोला like इसके बाद creating firewall. So till we are creating the firewall, it will charge or it will not charge, or might be nominal charges.
Uh, as far as what I remember, charges are as per what rule we configure. So also in WAP also it is like same only, and in firewall also it is same. It comes to the rules. So if
Okay.
you are setting the rules, it will cost for those rules only. And second thing which I told, amount of traffic or data packets which you are following and passing through the network firewall. Because if it is passing, somehow your network firewall is doing something to check. अगर rules हैं तब भी rules लगाए हैं और नहीं लगाए हैं तब भी. That means it will check. So that cost, sorry, that cost would be there.
So if I feel like like sound like based on the traffic, right?
Mhm. It's totally based on the traffic. Right now, like in your VPC, no traffic is coming. So for data transfer, you won't pay anything. Rules are not set. You won't pay for the rules. And as far as what I remember, it won't cost you anything. But it is safe that you will delete post this thing.
Exactly right. Thanks, sir. Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah. So now we can see that our network firewall is being ready. It takes some time to get it ready, provision. We can delete it anytime. And we can see we have firewall policy setting. उसके beside में monitoring है. We can go to monitoring. We can see how the request received, passed, and dropped. So it will show us that what are the data which we are getting, how much of it is getting passed, how much of it is getting dropped, and why. So we can check all those things when it comes to the monitoring. You can see आपको नीचे दिया हुआ है whether the rule which is blocking is stateful rules and stateless rules. So three things which is being checked is dropped packet, passed packet, and received packet. And we can customize like how in CloudWatch we do, like the amount of time you want to check, the time zone you want to check, the granularity of the things which you want to check. So these things will come under pictures. That's why we have like three for stateless, three for stateful. It looks a beautiful graph when it comes to actual traffic. अभी blank है क्योंकि कोई traffic आपका नहीं आ रहा है. And again, for any monitoring, if you remember, it takes 5 to 10 minutes to reflect, even if it is like actual things being started. And testing जो है वो हर 5 मिनट पे by default होता है. You can minimize it to 60 second, 30 second. It's all about the granularity level which you want to check. Otherwise, it's okay to have this particular monitoring with us. So this was all and all about the network firewall. Policies, again, I will repeat, it's not the thing I can say some standard policies to follow, but again, just if anyone want to check, there is one basic set of rules which is being followed. ग्रुप इस गूगल मीट के चैट पे मैंने सेंड किया है सूरी काटा रूल विच वी से. So these are the standard rules. Suppose you don't know what rules you need to set up. So this is the particular rule. If you search on Google anywhere, you will get like what are the certain rules which you can follow when it comes to network firewall. So these are the basic rules which you can set. So it will give some examples कि आप क्या rules set कर सकते हैं as a best practice for the network firewall. So all in all, it will help you to set the rules if you don't have any exact idea to have the rules. तो आपको दिया हुआ है. आप उसको गो थ्रू करेंगे तो आपको पता चलेगा कि स्टेटफुल के लिए, स्टेटलेस के लिए व्हाट आर द रूल्स, क्या होना चाहिए। मान लीजिए कैसे चेक करेगा वो कि किस तरीके की चीजें उसको चेक करनी है। तो दीज आर द टाइप्स ऑफ रूल्स विच यू कैन सी फॉर द स्टेटफुल being provided. Surikata rule is entirely the sum of all the stateful and stateless rules kind of set. तो एज अ स्टैंडर्ड आप फॉलो कर सकते हैं। Lastly, again I will repeat, network firewall which we are using is for the TCP UDP protocol, which is happening at a layer 3 and layer 4. Why most of the time we won't see firewall, network firewall in picture when it comes to actual practicality also, because the people have the traffic at a layer 7 and they are more concerned about protecting that. But when you are using direct connect, where it is mandatory, I will say, when you are using direct connect, so it's like a third party vendor or physical connections where the data is coming from. So you need to have at the TCP and UDP layer the protection be present. If not, then site to site if you are using, if not, if you are using some gateway. So these are the places where the network firewall comes into picture. But again, usually we configure site to site direct connect with the client or with the person for who we are working for. So again, it is like a secured thing only. So most of the time people leave this network firewall thing, but when it comes to direct connect, it's kind of mandate to have, because third party is being involved when it comes to direct connect, who will make the physical connection. So कहीं ना कहीं उन cases में we need to check and have the network firewall in place. Again, what all the things network firewall can do for you should be clear. Malicious IP, IP whitelisting, DDoS attack, ये सब चीजें जो हैं आपको बहुत easily जो है आपका नेटवर्क फायरवॉल जो है वो हेल्प करता है कहीं ना कहीं, और स्पेशली डीप पैकेट इंस्पेक्शन जो होता है, सो डैट आपका जो ट्रैफिक अगर बहुत ही हाई लोड पेलोड आ रहे हैं उसको चेक कर पाता है। आईपी स्पूफिंग, पोर्ट स्कैनिंग, दीज थिंग्स आर द सर्टेन things which network firewalls provide you. So instead of IP whitelisting at WAF level, you can IP whitelist with this particular network firewall along. तो कहीं ना कहीं इस तरीके से आपका जो है चीजें वर्क करती हैं। अगेन अगर प्रैक्टिकल कोई एग्जांपल चाहिए, देन यू कैन टेक लाइक द एग्जांपल ऑफ ई-कॉमर्स, where network firewall will block DDoS attack, your suspicious IPs, and WAF will help us to block the SQL ingestions and XSS attempts, which will be like targeting the web servers. तो कहीं ना कहीं दोनों तरीके को साथ यूज करना is the good thing, so that we get network layer protection, which is layer 3 and layer 4, network 7, layer 7, which is for the web application security layer. तो कहीं ना कहीं multi-layered security होना, it's all good. Layer 1 and layer 2, again it's a physical layer, comes under the picture, who is providing the resolution to the data. Layer 5 और layer 6 की बात नहीं होती है ज़्यादा, because that is kind of like where the data is getting resolved from layer 4 to layer 7. लेकिन इसका ये कतई मतलब नहीं है कि layer 5 या layer 6 पे अटैक नहीं हो सकते हैं। If you go deep into security things, अगर साइबर सिक्योरिटी में इंटरेस्ट होगा, then you will come to know how people hack things with caching and cookies. So those things come into picture for the layer 5 and layer 6, but it is out of scope for us as per till the professional things, professional certification also is being concerned. Those things will come into picture when somebody is doing the advanced security certification or CIA, those kind of certification. Then only the session and other presentation layer, I guess. Yes. So those two layer will come into the picture. So कहीं ना कहीं अगर आप layer 3, layer 4 or layer 7, which is the major player when it comes to these layers, तो आपको कहीं ना कहीं एक इनबिल्ट सिक्योरिटी मिल जाती है, एंड इट्स ऑल अबाउट लाइक which model you are following to look your data upon. So OSI model will provide 7 layers, but when it comes to TCP model of IP, then it is only 4 layers. कहीं ना कहीं आपके जो सेशन की प्रेजेंटेशन और लेयर 7 HTTP लेयर है वो कंबाइन होके एक लेयर बन जाता है, और आपका नेटवर्क लेयर जो लेयर 3 और ट्रांसपोर्ट लेयर है वो कंबाइन होके एक लेयर बन जाता है, तो इट विल शो एज अ 4 लेयर आर्किटेक्चर. सो इट टोटली डिपेंड विच आर्किटेक्चर यू आर फॉलोइंग and how you want to prevent your data. So security is very vast. Again, cloud is itself is vast. Security उससे भी बड़ा है. If we I go deep into security, पता चलेगा इधर से again we have like a long sessions for the security things all across. Today only we were somehow able to just complete the network firewall only. आज के सेशन को यहीं तक रहने देते हैं, नेटवर्क फायरवॉल तक. Hopefully tomorrow if we will meet, then WAF would be the point which we will discuss. I will keep the next session quick and short. जी उपेंद्र जी.
Sure, sir. One question. Like आपने बोला कि which IP we have to whitelist. Whitelist means what, sir? That IP we are allowing.
Yes. So whitelisting is the general term which we use for allowing the IP. Suppose your client has certain data center. It will have the physical LAN and other things working. जैसा आप अभी अपने ऑन साइट पर है, जो भी ऑफिस से आप वर्क करते होंगे, they definitely have their own network system to work. So they must have the certain IP or IP range which they might be using. So instead of like ऐसे random सब कुछ allow करने का, which should not be the case, we can allow those IPs or IP ranges. When I say IPs, take it as a IP range, because whitelisting individual IP is kind of like tricky situation thing, but range would be the best practice to do. कहीं ना कहीं आपका पूरा ऑफिस का रेंज आई कैन वाइट लिस्ट इन माई नेटवर्क फायरवॉल, और आई all office can communicate securely, and that's what is might be my goal, correct? So, but if you want like very exact advanced security, then again it will come to the whitelisting to the individual IPs, means the person's laptop or desktop would come into picture if they want to like have that kind of advanced security things. So whitelisting is that simple thing only, which we do at security group level also. When we add in inbound rule or outbound rule, mostly it's kind of IP whitelisting only. We can do the blacklisting also. It's like blocking the malicious IP range. We do have certain IP range which is considered under the malicious groups. So उसको अगर blacklist करना चाहते हैं, that option is also there. It's kind of like deny rules, which obviously we make for those things. Yeah.
Okay, so that IP range we have to set right. Either
Yes,
IP one or IP
that's what I
one.
mentioned. That yes, that's what I mentioned. That these things come under the radar of solution architect or the client or whoever is like building. So network firewall or any security related things are not like other services जो आप अपनी मर्जी से जो मन करे बनाते जाएं.
Correct. Okay. Yeah. Makes sense, sir. Yeah. That's very much clear.
It's totally where the data is coming from the other end. We need to have like in sync. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So आज का जो सेशन है नेटवर्क फायरवॉल, आई थॉट कि दोनों कवर हो जाएगा, बट ठीक है. सो नेटवर्क फायरवॉल आज हम लोग डिस्कस कर पाए. होपफुली नेक्स्ट क्लास वी विल गो एंड have some deep discussion over WAF, and we'll see how the WAF is working and all. Then again after that we'll decide whether which service or which AWS things we can continue to have our sessions. More or less, I don't think pretty much there is more. If I go guard duty, inspector, these things will come, will get covered in one. And I guess 1 or 2 session it would be better to have for Cloud Trail and CloudWatch to look around. So more or less we will be like completing the cloud for like in practical sense 70 to 80% time what all the services which you will be using in depth since the time
Okay.
I started taking all the AWS things. Then
Okay.
again
So
it totally depends if anyone will have the topic of their own interest. If I see that I know those things in depth, I can explain, then definitely I will go. Otherwise, we will wind up this AWS session things sooner or later. I
yeah.
guess the next month would be the wrap up for this AWS
Okay.
sessions.
So that is very much for certification, sir. Whatever you have taught so far.
So
So
whatever
all these.
I have discussed, I have not discussed it from the certification point of view. I have discussed it from the what in actual practical things which you can do. When it comes to certification, it's like many things you need to just read and learn. So like if
Okay.
somebody is going for cloud practitioner, so they don't even need to know how to create EC2 or other thing. They are more concerned that more and more services तो वहां पे हो सकता है आपको AI, ML, अदर जो स्कोप्स आप सेक्शंस जो सर्विसेज में देख सकते हैं उनमें जो सर्विसेज होंगे पॉली क्या करता है ट्रांसक्राइब क्या करता है सेज मेकर क्या करता है bedrock क्या करता है this way they have like health dashboard क्या होता है so there you just need to know at the practitioner cloud practitioner level you just need to know the definitions and there are certain things which are being required just to know it is kind of introduction अगर आप practitioner level के लिए देखेंगे तो that we were much done like 200 times we have completed that when it comes to associate, somewhere you need to have a practical knowledge, not in depth, but again, having this kind of practical knowledge will help you understand what in certification usually they are asking. Because till that time also, again, your questions are simple objective types only, not pretty complicated. When it
Okay.
comes to professional, I have not covered anything related to professional when it comes to any service because that would be very difficult because it will take one uh, particular service to take like 6 7 sessions to complete if I go in depth ki ec2 kya hai so it's like more we have to go how we can create it by api calls how we can create by
ठीक है दीदी
command
हो
line
जाएगा कोई दिक्कत नहीं
what actually
आपको
working
बेसिक्स
behind the
करने के लिए
different
लेकिन
type of
वही
instance
आपको
type
सीखना
which
तो
we use
पड़ेगा दीदी ना
why
आप
and
ऐसे
when
थोड़ी
and where
बेसिक्स से
we
सिखा
will use
पाओगे
the particular kind of because
हाँ
प्रोफेशनल इज ऑल अबाउट टेकिंग
आप
डिसीजंस
यदि इस
वहां
टाइम
उसको
में
इस
बिजी
चीज से
रहते हो
फर्क
काम
नहीं
में
पड़
भी
रहा है
तभी
वेदर
आप
यू नो द
देखो
सर्विस और
कम से
नॉट
कम देखो
इट्स
क्योंकि
लाइक
पूरी मोबाइल
फोर
पर
फाइव
काम नहीं करते
सर्विसेज ऑल
रहोगे
टुगेदर कमिंग and you need to take the decision which would be the better for the architecture point of view
हाँ तो
or
वहाँ
which could
45
make the
मिनट
sense
लगता है
in the
ना
practicality तो वहां पे ऐसा नहीं है कि you can go through some 500,000 questions and you will crack it so the professional level is again difficult and it totally comes as an exhaustive exercise. So if we
Yeah.
go, it's like we need to go more uh, deep the skin of all the services which we have learned so far.
Yeah.
And when
But
it comes to advanced wherever it is more like you are choosing out of all the services your own path to do. Either it is security, either it is networking, either it is a database, either it is a AI, ML. So it's when it comes to advanced, it is like you are picking the zone where you will be working forever. So you will become the expert of one part of the cloud and you will leave behind other things and go super deep. It's like having A to Z knowledge about those things. So advance is very tough. I guess till associate anyone would if go to some certain standard video course and do some hands-on, more or less they can crack all the associate level and practitioner level. Professional, I doubt it need like rigorous. There is no particular person's video which would help in a better way there is one guy, I guess Adrenal something his name, uh, whose videos are very popular when it comes to professional certification and all. But again, it is very costly. It comes like 200 to $500 just for their course, because he is the best in that particular industry when it comes to professional. And advanced is all what you learn actually. There is no fixed syllabus to learn. This way, this certification works.
बट सर वन वन थिंग जस्ट आई वांट टू से कि अगर आपके पास कोई अगर लिंक होगा क्लाउड प्रैक्टिशनर का या फिर एसोसिएट लेवल का एग्जाम क्रैक करने के लिए, प्लीज डू हेल्प टू शेयर दैट या, क्योंकि वो सारे
हाँ,
लोगों को हेल्प होगा
yes.
ताकि
So if it comes to cloud practitioner and your associate level, if anyone is interested to do, and if they have the Udemy access, I would say Stephen Marek. He's the best till associate level. His videos would be enough. More or less 20 to 30-hour video it would be for one particular certification. All in all, जिसको समझ है, if I will take your example, who has like in-depth knowledge of understanding what we have studied so far, it will be like 10 to 15 days task to just go through the videos and crack the certification. No hard thing. So it's Stephen Marek is best till the associate level. He has all the videos for professional as well, but I won't recommend because मेरे को खुद कुछ फायदा नहीं हुआ था उसके प्रोफेशनल वाले करने में. So that's the thing. But yes, Stephen
आई
Marek
थिंक
if
सर
you have
या
Udemy access. Yeah.
या आई थिंक बेटर टू गो फर्स्ट प्रैक्टिशनर लेवल, और वो अगर क्लियर हो जाता है देन गो टू द नेक्स्ट लेवल काइंड ऑफ एसोसिएट लेवल.
Yes, so cloud practitioner is must for everyone to do, and I guess professional, this associate is where you need to decide your path. Whether you are interested in DevOps, go for sysadmin. If you are interested in becoming the architect, understanding the architecture more, if you are interested, go for solution architect, which is the most fun. And if you are more kind of inclined to coding and developing things, which I had not discussed because that is not my background, so go for AWS developer. So there, वहाँ पे आप Elastic Beanstalk, Code Guru, CI/CD pipelines. Although it all comes in under DevOps, I know, but again, it is total waste to discuss here all those things, because that will go more and more complicated, because that is entirely a different arena. The mindset need to be changed when you are learning for the developer.
Okay, one more thing that I'm not sure whether I have missed or something. So EKS cluster or some other cluster, have you covered those topics, please? Or